Uh, do you use certain color tones when you're shooting? Like, do you adjust the saturation, the contrast?
Oh, certain settings. When I'm shooting now, because I'm shooting in RAW, so you've got all these different looks in the camera. Which I guess the one thing that I will kind of do on that thing is a cool thing if you want to pre-visualize doing black and white, like some of the projects I showed you, is with Sony cameras you can apply creative style, and as long as you are somehow, some form doing JPEG, it can be RAW plus JPEG, it's not just JPEG, but if you do the black and white creative style and do JPEG, your live view is in black and white. And then within that, you can make it prettier black and white by raising the contrast or darkening it as well. So you can kind of like prettify your preview if you want. It actually does come in handy, like if I'm shooting for a client that they think the job's in black and white, I'll set the camera up that way so the previews come up here in black and white, and it ends that discussion of, maybe we should do this in color instead. I just let them think the digital files only are in black and white, which they're not. So yeah, sometimes doing those adjustments. I would really not do it for the final looking camera, but sometimes it would help you to kind of envision what you want. How about the LUTs? Did you ask about lookup tables, LUTs?
No, how about the white balance? Do you change
Oh, with white balance? Yeah, again, I'm shooting RAW, so I can always adjust that later, but for instance, if I think I'm going to go with like a bluish shot like that, the picture in the cemetery, I knew I kind of wanted to give it a little bit of atmosphere, so as I was shooting, I actually did drop, took it off of auto white balance and set it for, I think I went somewhere around 4,000, 4,200. Again, it's probably not going to be the final color, but it is somewhat helpful to see the look, as you're shooting.
So Brian, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
So there's the A7R II, there's the A7S. So if you're a photographer and you're primarily interested in still pictures, what should you get?
Just 1 second. Sorry. Stay with that thought. That's great. Beautiful. Thanks. Perfect. That's good. To me, it was always really a dilemma with the first series camera, the A7, A7R, and A7S, because it really was like, are you shooting low light, or are you looking for the budget price brand, or everything had different strengths. I think one of the cool things is for most people, if you're looking for really the flagship workhorse, the A7R Mark II really does everything well, because it's good, as we saw in some examples, it's good in low light, like the shots available light on the parade, but it also has tremendous resolution, high dynamic range, unless you were shooting in almost near darkness, and I'm not talking even this auditorium shooting out at you, but real darkness where the A7S II comes through, it's like, I would say for most people the A7R Mark II is the right choice, but it's kind of cool, they never discontinued the A7R because there's still a market for people looking for the under $1,000 full frame camera, or at least in the US, that's what it sells for, just under 1,000. Beautiful. Okay, so I know at this point, because the comments are like disappearing right now, I'm happy to answer them later, but I know a bunch of you people just want to win the damn camera. So I know where I stand. I'm not the least bit, I would be totally with you. Believe me, it's like if I could win the thing, I totally understand. I'm not hurt. So allow me to thank all of you, bring Muhammad back up on stage, and thank you, sir, for having me out here. So let's do our giveaway.
Thank you guys, that was a real treat. I think you saw with with Brian's presentation, some real insights on making great portrait imagery and how the Sony has helped him to do that. I think without any further ado, can I ask Mr. Irai-san to please come up and let's do the raffle.